Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to our English class. Let's start with the class doing this exercise that I have here for you. This exercise says, check this out carefully. I'm going home now. I need to the car. And look at the picture we have there. Look at the picture. It says, the options to answer this are A, get on, B, get off, C, get in, D, get out. So, if you are learning English, stay there and analyze this sentence, check the picture carefully. Yeah, I'm going home. I need to. The correct option for this is get in the car. I'm going home now. I need to get in the car. And this is the correct option for this exercise. So before starting, welcome back to my channel. This is your English teacher, Tatiana. Yes, and welcome to our English class. So here we have another quiz. It says, this is my stop. I need to the bus. Look at the picture, look at the options we have there. A, get off. B, get in. C, get on. D, get out. In the picture, we can see that this person has already arrived at, it's a woman, so this woman has already arrived at her destination. So in this case, we use this phrasal verb, get off. This is my stop. I need to get off the bus. If your answer was correct, well done, you remember, very good, especially because you remember the phrasal verbs that we learned and we studied the last class. If you haven't seen this class yet, you can find it in my channel with this picture. It is called Phrasal Verbs, Get plus Phrasal Verbs, Part 1. In that class, we learned 7 phrasal verbs with get. Get on, get off, get in, get out, get over, get along, and get away. Get away. We learned the meaning, we saw them in examples, and we did several quizzes to start memorizing all of them. So remember, if you haven't seen this yet, you should go and see the class. Well, let's start now, but before getting to the topic and start learning the other phrasal verbs we have for today, something important that I want to give you, this is important information. In case you say, I feel stuck learning English, I study and study a lot of words and study a lot of grammar, but I feel stuck in my progress. So I don't know what to do. If maybe you say this, I'm gonna give you important information about online English classes you can take. If you want to study, for example, with me on online English classes and receive feedback from someone who has experienced the same that you are experiencing now, yes, you want to receive recommendations, feedback, you want to speak in class and improve your speaking skills, your listening, all your communicative skills, you can do it this way. Pay attention. At the academy where I am working now, where I am currently working, you have the opportunity to study English and learn English with a conversational method and in small groups. I mean, you with other two or with another person or other two or three, maximum four people in a group. That's why it says small groups. Because the idea is that you participate all the time, not only once or twice or three times in a class. No, here the idea is that you speak in the class and you participate all the time. You have here an active role in your class. If you are interested in taking classes like this, you have two options at this academy. The first option is this classes. You will receive classes 3 times a week, 3 times, yes, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. But maybe if you say, no, 3 days, I do not have time for studying English 3 days a week. I prefer only 2 days. So this is the other option for you. If maybe you can't for the time or for any other reasons, you have this other alternative. You can study your English classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. These are the two options, 3 classes per week or 2 classes per week on these days. If you want to receive more information because you want to improve your speaking and your listening and be ready to speak in real and use real English, you can ask for more information here in scanning this QR. Scan, take a screenshot of this QR, and there you register and you will receive more information about the classes and the methodology and etc. Well, I wanted to give you this information because many of you left me comments asking for this. Hey, how can I study English with you? Okay, so this is my answer. The academy is called Idiomas OCW. Yes? Well, let's continue here with the class. The first phrasal verb that we are going to study is get by. Remember that a phrasal verb is a verb, in this case, get, plus a small word. For example, by, in, into, away, etc. So the first one for this English session is this, get by. Get by means to manage or survive with what you have. For those who speak Spanish, it means get by. We use it when we want to say arreglárselas, survive with what you have. I mean, if you have little money or little help or little time, resources, yes, you still survive and continue. You still continue and survive. For example, look at the picture. Even though my salary is slow, I can get by because I don't spend too much. I can survive because I don't spend too much. This is our first example. Our second example is this. When I travel abroad, my basic English helps me get by. Here, for example, it says my basic English. That means that I have little knowledge of English. I do not speak English very well and very fluent, advanced English, but with this, I can get by when I travel. I can survive. The next phrasal verb is get into. Get into. Get into means wait a moment. I can see that the volume here is very low, so I am going to do some modifications to the settings. Yeah, it's better. Okay, so get into means to become interested in something. To become interested in something. It is like when you start enjoying or doing something regularly. For example, here we have this. I got into cooking during the pandemic and now I cook every weekend. I got into cooking during the pandemic and now I cook every weekend. This person didn't enjoy cooking before, but during pandemic, this person started cooking and found out, discovered that it was something nice, that this person enjoyed cooking, so became interested in doing this. I got into cooking during the pandemic. We can also say, my brother is getting into photography these days. That means that my brother started watching videos about photography and is interested about doing this. So my brother is getting into photography these days. Become interested in doing something. The other meaning for get into, I wanted to include a second meaning because remember that one phrasal verb can have many different, several meanings. So here I wanted to include a second meaning for this. That is very common. We also use get into to say this, to enter a place or be accepted into a school or program. Enter a place, get into the house, get into the house, enter to the house. Be accepted into a school or program is like, yeah, when you are accepted. You apply to a university and you are accepted to study in that place. She was so happy when she got into her dream university. She was so happy when she got into her dream university. That means that she was accepted to study there. This is the another meaning for get into. Become interested in doing something and also enter a place or be accepted into a school or program. Let's continue with the next. Yes, so far we have seen two phrasal verbs with get into and get by. Okay? The third one or the third phrasal verb is get back. Get back. It means return, to return to a place or situation. To come back, to where you were before. Yes? To a place you were before, to a situation you were before. For instance, we have here a picture about a family, and the example says, after visiting my family, I got back home very late last night. After visiting my family, I got back home very late last night. That means, in other words, I returned very late. Here we have another example. Here in the first example, it refers to a place. Return to a place, come back to a place, get back to a place. Yes? And in the second example, we have a situation. Let's get back to work after the break. They are having a break, maybe eating something or having a small chat. Yes, to distract their minds for a while. And someone says, let's get back to work after the break. Let's get back. Yes, and continue doing the thing that we were doing before. This means. Okay, so let's do a short quiz about the three phrasal verbs that we have seen so far. Get by, get back, get into. Let's see how much we remember about them. Quiz number 1. My friend lost her job last month, but she's managing to until she finds a new one. Let's do it slower. Let's read it again, but slower. My friend lost her job last month, but she's managing to until she finds a new one. That means a new job. The options are get back, get by, and get into. Which of these options we can use to complete the sentence that is there? Analyze that carefully. The option that we can use here is the second one. Get by. Survive. She lost her job last month. but she's managing to get by. She's trying to survive with the money that she has. With it might be little money, yes. So she's trying to get by until she finds a new one. In other words, she's trying to survive. Let's continue. Second quiz. What's the phrasal verb? I took a short break to rest, but now I'm ready to my studies and finish my course. I took a short break to rest, but now I'm ready to my studies and finish my course. Options: get into, get by, get back. Three, two, one. I took a short break to rest, but now I'm ready to get back my studies. I would say to get back to my studies and finish my course. Get back to my studies, I'm gonna include the word to there. Get back to work, get back to my studies. Sounds much better. Okay, so good job. You remember get back, get by. Later we practice get into in a short quiz. Let's continue with number 4. The phrasal verb with get number 4. Get through, through, get through. This phrasal verb means to finish something difficult or tiring. To finish something difficult or tiring, in other words, to complete something hard or stressful. When you finish something hard or stressful, we can say get through. Example: this week has been so busy, but I'll get through all my work before Friday. It's like I'll complete all my work before Friday. And all my work is might be stressful, might be hard, might be difficult. Second example. Okay, so let me give you another example about this. We can say she finally got through her exams at college. She finally got through all her exams at college. That means she finally finished all her exams. I wanted to include another meaning that is very common and we use it all the time too, using get through. This other is to succeed in contacting someone. I mean to manage to contact someone by phone. Yeah. So, example, I called you many times, but I couldn't get through. Your phone was off. Hey, what were you doing? I called you many times yesterday, but I couldn't get through. It is like No te pude contactar. Get through. It means that I couldn't contact you. Let's continue with the phrasal verb number 5. This is the last one that we are going to learn today with get. So this phrasal verb is get across. Get across. And this is pretty interesting because we use it to talk about our messages when we are speaking with other people. So we say we want, or let's say, let's read what I have here. To make someone understand something clearly. To make someone understand something clearly. It's like to communicate or express your ideas easily, successfully, clearly, so that the other people can understand. The other people understand what you said. Okay, to communicate successfully. And others understood what you said before. Example, he speaks clearly, so he can get his ideas across easily. Ideas. He can get his ideas across easily. That means that other people understand his ideas easily. Second example. The teacher used pictures to get her message across. Message. To get her message across. To help students understand what she was trying to say. She used pictures to help students understand what she was explaining to them, what she was trying to say. So, to get her message or her ideas across. And conclusion, if people didn't understand your idea, you can say, I couldn't get my message across. You see their faces and you read, yes, you understand, oh no, they are making faces. They probably didn't understand what I was saying, so I couldn't get my message across. I need to repeat it again or say that using different words or a different approach, a different strategy. Now that we finish with the fifth phrasal verbs we had prepared I had prepared for you for this session, let's do a final quiz. The quiz, in the first part, we need to say what is the phrasal verb according to the context. For example, we have get into, get across, get by, get back, get through. 5 in total. We learned 5 phrasal verbs. It says, life is difficult sometimes, but even with little money, some people find creative ways to and stay positive. The phrasal verb we can use in this context is get by. Life is difficult sometimes, but even though little money, but even with little money, some people find creative ways to get by and stay positive. Second example, I started watching dance videos and little by little I really it. Now I practice every day. The phrasal verb here is, you can pause the video. You can pause the video and think about the answer for this. The phrasal verb is get into, but it is conjugated in past because it says I started. I started watching dance videos and little by little I really got into it. In other words, little by little I became interested. I became interested in watching videos, dance videos. Now I practice every day. So you started enjoying these kind of videos. You got into it, in other words. Next, after 2 weeks of vacation, it's hard to your normal routine. 3, 2, 1. After 2 weeks of vacation, it's hard to get back to your normal routine. Yeah, it is actually really hard. You want to continue on your holidays. You want to continue resting. So I totally agree with this. And the last one. I had so many tasks this week, but I finally them all. We have two options, get across or get through. The option here is get through, but in past. We need to conjugate these phrasal verbs according to the tense. It is not always get, get, get. We need to be careful with this. If you are speaking in present, you say get. If you are speaking in present and you mention a third person, you say gets. If you are speaking in past, you say got. If you are speaking in future, you say will, etc. So we need to conjugate that according to the context. I'll read it again. I had so many tasks this week, but I finally got through them all. I finally finished all. I finally completed that. So here we have a different exercise. Here I wanted to include something different to help you practice in a different way. Here we have a conversational question. What would you recommend someone with very little money to do to get by? Imagine that someone has very little money because maybe that person lost their job. Yes, like the example we had at the beginning of the class. What would you recommend? What would you recommend that person to do? What advice, what piece of advice would you give to that person? to get by. Here I have some common examples, some recommendations. I recommend cooking at home. If you have little money, maybe you lost your job or you have very little money, you should cook at home to get by. You should buy only what's necessary. And of course, look for small jobs online. What's something new you've recently got into and why? What is that activity? Yes, new activity you have recently got into. And speak about that. Oh, I recently got into photography, cooking, dancing, learning English. I got into exercising at home because it helps me relax and stay healthy. I got into playing the piano. I got into photography. I got into hiking. Yes. This can be other different answers for this. Well, before ending our lesson, let's learn another meaning for get through. I wanted to include it at the end because it tends to be a little similar. The others that we learned were complete or finish a difficult, stressful task. Yes, something stressful, something hard. And also manage to contact someone by phone. Do you remember? We can also use get through to say survive. Survive from a difficult situation. Survive from a difficult situation. That means that you finish that difficult situation and you survive. Example. Can you think of a time when you had to get through something difficult? What helped you? Example of a difficult situation, a tough situation. When I moved to another city alone, it was tough, hard, difficult, challenging. Talking to my friends and staying positive helped me get through it. Here, the meaning is more like survive. It helped me to survive. So this is another way. We can use it when we talk about a difficult situation. So we can use get through. How did you get through it? And this is all. These were the phrasal verbs that we learned today with get. And you will find out that we use these phrasal verbs almost always in our everyday conversations. Get by, get into, get back, get across, and get through. There are more phrasal verbs, yeah. There are other phrasal verbs we need to learn. So there will probably be a third part for this class. So this is all for today's lesson. Thank you very much for joining today. I hope you understood everything. I hope everything is clear, completely clear for you. And let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if you want to create any example with the phrasal verbs we learned today. Feel free, welcome, you're welcome to do it. I will be paying attention and to give you feedback in case if it is necessary. Bye bye, take care, and see you later. Bye.